Greetings and salutations. It is I, Mr. Nothing, the museum curator of the weird and the strange, and a host who might be turning in for the winter. Welcome back to Around the Weird A BookTube channel, where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. It is Poetry Thursday, so today I wanted to talk about some neat poetry that I found. All poetry that I feature on this channel is pretty neat in some way. It speaks to me in some way. I'm not going to feature, bad poetry or poetry that I find boring. Today I wanted to talk about a poem that is about the winter and the change of the seasons. I will be talking about November by Maggie Dietz. For those that don't know, Maggie Dietz is a poet. She's been writing for some time. She also serves as an editor. Not a lot of information available for her out there, as there is for most poets. I think she also teaches in her spare time as well. So a lot going on for her. This poem that I'm going to be reading today comes from That Kind of Happy, which was published in 2016. So if you want to see more of her poetry, that might be where you could start. I think it's funny that I'm doing this poem. I read it because I wanted to do something that was the changing of the seasons. But this one is called November, and we're well into December by now. So, that's just how things go sometimes. So without further ado, I want to read you the poem. Afterwards, I'll discuss it a little bit, and we will move on from there. This is November. Shows over folks, and didn't October do a bang-up job? Crisp breezes, full-throated cries of migrating geese, low-floating coral moon. Nothing left but fool's gold in the trees. Did I love it enough? The full-throttle foliage while it lasted. Was I dazzled? The bees have up and quit their last-ditch flights of forage and gone to shiver in their winter clusters. Field mice hit the barns. Big squirrels gorge on busted chestnuts. A sky like hardened plaster hovers. The pasty river, its next of kin, coughs up reed grass fat as feather dusters. Even the swarms of kids have given in to winter's big excuse, boxed in allure. TV's ricochet light behind pulled curtains. The days throw up a closed sign around 4. The hapless customer who wanted something arrives to find lights out, a bolted door. And so that was November by Maggie Dietz, a poem that I rather enjoy. One of the reasons I enjoy it is because of how she shows the changing of the seasons, going from a very lively time to a time where, things are kind of, dying maybe, or, becoming less than lively. You see her start in the very beginning when she talks about October. She says, and didn't October do a bang-up job? Crisp breezes, full-throated cries of migrating geese, low-floating coral moon. You have, presumably squirrels and animals just roaming around. It's a very lively time, as I just said. It would be a beautiful time to be out and about. There's still, quite a bit of nature going on. But that isn't the case once you enter November and you get into the winter months. Bees have got up and gone and gone back to their beehives and have, clustered together, presumably trying to gather warmth so they don't die. The squirrels are engorging themselves on food in order to stay warm for the winter as well. And the rivers are shooting out their debris, making the rivers look kind of gross, as they do near the beginning of winter. So I really like that comparison there, where things look lively in October maybe, but they're kind of dying and not in the best of places. But come the start of winter. Even like families and children like are no longer exuberant as they once were. Whereas in the early fall months, you had children probably outside, presumably doing outside things and playing and getting scrapes and bruises. And in this poem, Dietz notes that even the swarms of kids have given in to winter's big excuse boxed in a lure. TV's ricochet light behind pulled curtains. So the children are no longer outside. They are inside and watching TV and staying as warm as possible. So that's something there. That's one of the things I like about the poem. The last thing I like about the second thing that I like about the poem is the final verse. It goes, "The days throw up a closed sign around 4. The hapless customer who wanted something arrives to find lights out, a bolted door." And what I like about that is you could take it literally or figuratively. In the literal sense, you could see that like a customer could show up to a business, but the business owners, closed the store because it was dark and they figured they wouldn't be getting any more customers for that day. As one would reasonably believe. And so, like, if you want to get your shopping done, you got to get it done earlier during the day. But you could also view this figuratively. The hapless customer being, people out and about. The days throw up a closed sign around 4. Well, that's due to daylight savings time and whatnot. That's when the sun would go down, and so you'd find lights out around 4. And if you're out and about, you'd be like, oh, like technically the day is closed. There's a bolted door on the outdoors. If you wanna be outdoors, you gotta be able to see in the dark. And so I like that that's both. You could take that both literally and figuratively. It's something that attracts me to the poem, the final verse there. And so that was November by Maggie Dietz, a poem that I enjoyed very much. I recommend that you check it out. I will put a link to it in the description. Why don't you read it and tell me what you think about it in the comments? Or, simply, let me know what you thought of my review. If you agree, if you disagree, I would love to hear from you and have a discussion. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that we can get Poetry Thursday out to the masses, and maybe hit that bell symbol so that you can get more of some notifications for when I make a video. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and November-ish travels. Farewell.